Design and Gaming School, our pathway. Let's see. Get this to go. Don't play, just pause. Okay. So our pamphlet's on the back table if you didn't pick that up. We are a school in South LA and working to urgently educate and empower the teenagers of South Los Angeles to excel through higher education and become transformative leaders of our local and global communities. We are currently operating a game pathway. So during my 30-minute talk here, I want you to describe how CDAG students are engaged in our game pathway. I want you to describe how CDAG's classrooms use gamification, game-like learning, and learning games. And I want attendees to be able to provide examples of how CDAG students have engaged with industry partners. So these are the courses we currently offer in our CDAG's pathway. A variety of design and gaming courses are offered to CDAG students. So far it looks like this. In 9th grade they take Exploring Computer Science. In 10th grade they take Foundations of Game Design. And in 11th grade they take Programming and Game Design and Game Audio Design, which is what I teach. I'm the music teacher. And in 12th grade they take New Media. Excuse me? Yeah, sure. These are just our 4 pathway courses for the gaming pathway. And there might be information more on our pamphlet. I'm not sure if they went into this kind of detail on there. What I can do also, to get through everything, I can share these slides to you afterwards. Since there are only a few of you, I can just probably share them out to you. So we also have integrated courses with our pathway, and so our school is integrated into the core curriculum, all the skills and themes of our pathway. So we have developed a World History by Design course, and Writing Games for Social Change is our social studies class, where students write games in social science. We have Gamecraft, which is English 10 with game development, where students create machinimas with Minecraft and also write storyboards for games. And Communication by Design is another English course, and Algebra 2 for the 21st century, where they learn basic coding skills and learn more about functions in that class. So in our gaming pathway, our students are prepared to enter jobs in the computer science industry, and specifically going into the gaming industry. We train them on Scratch, GameSalad, and C# programming language, and Unity software. All of these software programs are free and available to download. So this is what a work sample would look like in GameSalad, some of our student projects. And we have Homer chasing a donut. And this is what these samples look like live. This is GameSalad. So here you see so the rooster shoots eggs out of his butt to get the Peter Griffins. That's one of our students did. Just coding this is in our 10th grade course, where they are just using GameSalad. And we have students learning about animation, so they got the little character to run across the screen and program the animation for that. This one doesn't really do anything as a game, but they're working on gaming concepts. And this one was another animation project. That's all it does. It's wonderful. And this is the most fully developed one that looks like a game right now. So you can move the character and different interactions happen. What was that? So then they go into this world where they have ice cream, and then they're starting to work with platformers in this game.
You can use either Mac or PC, doesn't matter, is it working on that?
I think GameSalad works on Mac and PC. Pretty sure. I'm not the teacher of that class. I'm the game audio design teacher. So I'm not quite 100% positive on that. So we also teach them with code.org is a wonderful resource that we engage in our advisory. We did the Hour of Code, which teaches essential computer science skills to students, and you can also get grants for your classroom for running the Hour of Code. Like I think they can give you $1,000 of money on what's the Donors Choose. So.
That just happened.
Yeah. Oh, it just happened this week. Yeah. So that's what we also do. This teaches block programming. And then we teach math with coding, and students understand functions and how math applies to things that actually happen on the screen. So they get into that in their coding. So we want our students to be resourceful. They have, here you see a student making good use of butcher paper to respond to one of our school's advisory challenges. And these go up on classroom.google.com every Friday. In our school we have hour-long advisories on Friday. And classes have to respond live within 1 hour and post either a photo or a video online. So in this one, it was time for the annual Breakfast in the Classroom Derby, and they had to do a video clocking the fastest time to bring in and properly distribute the food. Here's a video of that happening. And we're one of the only schools, high schools, that have breakfast in the classroom in our school district. I think so. So it really encourages community building and teamwork. So then he painstakingly sets up all the food, puts it up, and that class clocked the fastest time, so they got 13 bonus points. At the end of the school year, we have a big awards assembly. It makes the Oscars look like peanuts, and we have bands and stuff, and we have a fun time with that. So that's classroom.google.com that helps facilitate that. I use that a lot in my classroom as well. We also want students to become collaborative. So we focus a lot of our instruction on small group norms, like discuss and decide. You see here, small group roles, team captain, facilitator, reporter, and all the students are responding to a challenge in the classroom in a small group. So one of the ways we also encourage collaboration, we hosted a game jam at our school. And what a game jam is in a specified time frame, we did 48 hours. You have to design, conceptualize, and produce, play test a fully functional game. And we announce a theme at the beginning of the game jam that by the roll of a dice, and students have to work in teams. They created analog games. Some of them created digital games using the skills they had practiced in their game design classes. So students signed up, they were here. This happened right after school let out in the summer. These students are all here voluntarily during their first few days of summer, coming back to school and participating in this. So we had the gym reserved, we had all kinds of tables set up, and We engaged our industry partners as mentors. This is Emma. She works for a gaming design company. This is our school, the Critical Design and Gaming School. And we engaged some incoming 9th graders. Those are actually 8th graders coming to our school the next year. And so we went to that middle school and recruited them. And they also served as judges for the games so they could give out awards. So that happened last year. We're trying to make it happen again this year. We want our students to be innovative. So this is our school's Mesa Robotics Engineering team. They go to the Mesa Robotics Engineering Club and design a robot that can do a specific task. They always do very well. And our school hosted this year's Mesa Design Challenge, where they had to get a ball. I'm not sure how it goes, but this pool ball has to go up the track, I think, somehow, or down the track, all the different levels of the track. And this is on our campus, our students engaged in innovation. So we're focusing on 3 different pathway outcomes for our students. We want them to adopt a gamer mindset. We want them to be fluent in design methodology, and we want them to be systems thinkers. So gamer mindset, we have it chunked into grade level outcomes. So in 9th grade, they have to understand the elements of a gamer mindset and recognize and seek opportunities for growth. In 10th grade, we want them to recognize and demonstrate how failures are opportunities to learn from. And then 11th grade, demonstrate gameful mindset when responding to learning challenges by playing, flowing, embracing failure, responding to continuous feedback, learning while doing, and constant iteration. And 12th grade, effectively using creative thinking, problem solving, language development, and social emotional skills when playing games. And we really focus this on the CTE standards and the AME and ICT strands. So they are career ready by the time they graduate. And I won't have time to go into detail about these other ones, but here's design methodology we've done this for, and systems thinking, what we've done that for. And so we want our students to design. What this looks like is students engaged on computers, students not just going in and creating a game, but actually going through a design process. You see this student presenting the storyboards they created for one of their games, and being able to talk about how her and her team researched and communicated successfully to get that done. And we teach students the D3 process. This methodology really helps structure that collaborative, creative nature of designing something. So first, they want them to dream it, where they empathize with the problem. In my class that I presented yesterday, I want them to create Space Wars music. So they have to empathize with how the gamer would feel playing the game, and really do some research here and discover, dig deeper, define a problem, so they will know exactly what the problem is like, I have to create music that gets the player's heart pumping in some way, and I'm going to use these kind of instruments or something. Not yet how they're going to, not yet how they will solve it, but just what the problem is, really empathizing. And then they do creativity, so they brainstorm, define. We have rubrics for each step, so I can see how well they're brainstorming, and right here they define exactly what they will do, and here they will plan out exactly how they will accomplish it, and then they get it done and present their results. So going through this phase, and not just, because what students want to do is they just want to go here, and they don't want to go through this whole process. So then we want students to be systems thinkers. We're teaching them on Unity in their second game design class, where they get into coding, and this is Game Salad, where they get the initial things of block programming and how a game could function.
So Game Salad works on coding, or?
Game Salad does coding with, but a lot of it's already written for you. So in Unity, you get more into writing exactly the code that will happen.
So
but
Game Salad is a precursor to Unity.
It helps scaffold it that way, they found out. So in here, you don't actually, sometimes you can do a whole lot without writing any code as well. But we want to train, that's part of our learning, is we want them to know how to code. So, but you can still get into Unity and make a game without writing code. And we want our students to think, so we give them problems to solve. Here the student is trying to figure out how to make this conductive wire turn on the light bulb, and they have to think about basic systems in that way. We're also trying to set up a maker space at our school and get that going with circuits and different challenges in terms of, that's what we're doing for systems thinking. And then we want our students to play. So we host game fairs where students present the games they made in their design classes, and our industry support people come serve as judges for the games and give them feedback and help play test the games. Here you see students just playing at our game fair because we had tables. We got a grant to purchase all of these games. We had a grant for teachers to go out of campus and play games themselves. And you see students here working on, this is a student whose storyboard you saw earlier with her game up on the screen. So we want them to play, and in our integrated courses with our pathway, we want them to also feel like game-like in some way. So I have these three terms: gamification, game-like learning, and learning games. Those are all different things. Gamification is when we incorporate game elements into a non-gaming activity, like a classroom progress bar, where it's not actually a game, but it's starting to seem like a game. And that's popping up all over the world. When you go to a store to shop, you earn points for shopping or something. In game-like learning, it's making learning feel like playing without systematic game elements. So I'm going to talk a little bit about mastery-based grading and how that can help your class feel more like a game. Learning games are games. These two are not games. Learning games are games in which the core mechanics emphasize the knowledge you want your students to know or the skills you want them to practice, like Math Blasters. So this is an example of how I use gamification with a progress bar. I have my students working in groups, and they get to check in, and they get to see if their group's green, red, or yellow. And this makes it feel like they have a bar that's filling up from left to right as they go through the different phases, which people somehow just get motivated by different colors in a progress bar. I don't know, but it really works. And they really want to get their team out of the red. They don't want to see their team behind the other teams. So it does make it a little bit competitive. It helps it feel a little bit like a game. And I also don't call them steps, I call them phases. So we're starting to use just game terminology in when I teach. And at our game fair, instead of just turning students loose for 2 days in the gym, we really structured that time and made that gamified. So we gave them energy points every 30 minutes. If they met a deadline for having a specific product accomplished on their game, they earned 3 energy points. If their storyboard was done by 10:30, or 1 energy point. And then we had leaderboards for the students that had the most energy points, and it really structured that time and kept the event just going. It kept me super busy. And then they could spend their energy points on special powers. And this could be used in a classroom to help gamify your classroom. So you could spy on a team, you could keep a mentor, because we had our industry mentors at our station for 5 minutes. You could add an extra laptop. You could change the background music, because we had music playing during the game fair. But you could develop perks to use in your classroom. We just want all of our school to feel game-like, even in their core classes. So we also did throwing a twist at our game jam. You could throw a twist to another team to where they would have to put something new into their game and kind of throw a wrench in someone's plans, which made it fun and it helped people interact with each other. So this is an example of game-like learning. We use mastery grading approach at our school, which does make it game-like. I see if you can figure out how this is game-like. So what mastery grading is we base our grade book on learning targets and rubrics, and we don't attach points, random numbers like 100 points is an A. No, an A means you have advanced knowledge of all the learning targets. So my learning target for me is play the pentatonic scale on a guitar or a keyboard, and there's multiple approaches to that you can do. So if they get a 4, they're really creative and using higher order thinking skills to create melodic improvisations that fit stylistically with the song. To get a 3, it's slightly easier. To get a 2, it's pretty basic stuff related to the learning target. And to get a 1, they're still mastering the basic stuff for that, but nobody's really getting a 0. So if you fall really behind in the class, you know, like if I achieve some effort, there's going to be a challenge, but it's not going to feel overwhelming. So these are the 7 principles of game-like learning. Everyone's a participant. Failure is reframed as iteration. Everything's interconnected. Learning happens by doing. Feedback is immediate and ongoing. Challenge is constant. Learning feels like play. Which one of these 7 principles of game-like learning do you think would apply to mastery grading?
Failure is reframed as iteration.
Definitely. Why would you say that?
Because they continually have a chance to get better and improve.
Yes, exactly.
So there's no failure.
Yeah. And as I'm testing a student, I'm also giving them immediate feedback. And the feedback is not like, you got 10 points. The feedback is, you need to work on your timing a little bit.
Are you going to share these slides?
I will share them. And then this is a slide I show in class while they're working. It just looks like a game. I just chose a game background. I have a ticking clock, so there's some challenge timer. This is like a YouTube video. And I just chose game font and using the words phase. And this is helping them get through the design process. Here's how another teacher makes her assignments more game-like. She gives her students missions, and each mission has a different level. So in math class, the mission objective, they want to raise as many rabbits as possible, so they have a few options to consider. They could start with a large number of rabbits, or they could raise a breed of rabbits that reproduces faster. Which situation might yield the largest rabbit population after 1 year? So the students do this challenge, then this challenge, then this challenge. And each challenge gets a little harder, and she's really good at managing that. And she also has a leaderboard in class for which small groups have gotten to which challenge. Like, oh, we're still on challenge 1, we better get up to challenge 3. Look at that team over there, they're on challenge 3 already. It's making us look bad. So it makes it feel more like a game. And
Nancy. I knew Nancy.
you know Nancy?
Nancy, yes.
Yes.
This sounds so Nancy.
This is totally, yeah, so the students aren't the only ones who design games at our school. The teachers came in over the summer and we got the Institute of Play to come to our school and teach us how to make learning games for our classes. And that's me when I had a mustache. This is my mustache. And this is a game you can get from this website for free. It's a PDF called Absolute Blast, and it helps students learn math, grade level. They also have stuff for there's a few things you can get for free, but you can really just learn how to make games on your own for your own learning targets. So this is the evolution of learning happening at CDAGs. Students hunkering down together, solving problems. This is our website, hawkinscdags.com. And we're seeking funding for our upcoming game jam. If you would like to give you a homework assignment to share this to your social networks and see if anyone can help pitch in. We got a grant through the LRNG Innovation Foundation last year, and this year we still need to make this happen. So we're wondering, whoa, we don't have money for our game jam this year. We got food and prizes. The prizes were donated from 20th Century Fox, so they had all kinds of like Simpsons gear and Sons of Anarchy and all kinds of things that our industry liaison helped facilitate. So a big part of this is having that person, like, because teachers really, and administrators who are willing to say, my teachers need this person, and they're willing to pay someone to go get all of that accomplished. So this was our first ever game jam, happened last year. We got this team of teachers paid to develop it and be there in the summer. And also we got to buy a lot of arts and crafts supplies for students to make their big board games. So trying to raise $5,000 for this year's game jam. So now there's going to be, if there are any questions, I know I started late, I don't know how I am on time, but I have a quiz.
And that is a selfie, so I can like show Nancy.
Oh, okay, for sure.
A weird request, but
No,
see.
just show Nancy.
Cool.
All right, awesome.
That is awesome. She was the person that I asked about which game would be the best for design for my classroom. I think she-
How did you connect to Nancy?
We did the ECS training together, and then we went to Washington DC together.
Okay, what's your name?
I'm Gail.
Gail? Okay, I'll tell her.
I think she gave me your name to contact you about some game design stuff.
Wow.
Very cool. Huh?
So this is Kahoot. If you have a smartphone, you can go to kahoot.it.
Okay, is that how we get it?
Yeah, and I'll give you a chance to earn some money here. So you should just go to kahoot.it on your computer or smartphone. And I'll see if you met your learning targets. Once you get there, enter this PIN, which will pop up in a sec. Please go to kahoot.it and enter the PIN 7817003. Kahoot.it. I got Raf. I got Gail. Okay, we're all in. Here you go. You have 20 seconds to answer the question. 20 seconds. Which class is this student most likely engaged with in our pathway? Click on one of the answers. Okay, it looks like if you put Foundations of Game Design, you are correct. Oh, you're in too. Awesome. That was you? Yeah. Okay. You can earn some CDAGS money. Okay. Next question. TJ's in the lead. Here we go. Step it up, guys. Which of these core values is exemplified the best in this picture? Resourcefulness, collaboration, or innovation? If you said innovation, you're correct.
I can't even see that far, so I'm just guessing that.
Okay. The pictures are a little small, huh? All right. So again, we got Raf. You're Raf.
I am.
Excellent. You win 5 CDAG dollars. Okay. This will be our last question. Let's get Gail and Ken on the board. Here we go. This picture best exemplifies which engagement strategy? Gamification, learning game, or game-like learning? That's a learning game.
I have fallen and I can't.
Because they are playing a game. The other two are not actual games. Okay, Gail got on the board.
Sorry, Ken.
But Ken, although you don't get 5 CDAG dollars, you do get 1 CDAG dollar just for attending. And this is our counselor's face that I pasted onto some Monopoly money. And I use these in class. And I create value for them. I create value for them by giving them perks in class or selling little treats, or sometimes they just like hoarding them and not spending them at all.
That's cool.
And my idea, which hasn't actually been a success yet, is like to have an auction for like some cool stuff at the end of the semester. Like you have to use your CDAG dollars in an auction. So any more questions about our pathway? I'm so happy you joined me. For a small audience, it was nice. I was totally not nervous. I know I was like nervous having to present today, but you all made it very good.
I'm gonna go check